Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today we will be going over to the Star Trek Online official YouTube channel. So, on screen. Yes, so captains, you already saw the thumbnails. You know why we are doing this particular video. Now, what we're going to do is go over this specific discussion that was had online when Cryptic was streaming under 10-4 Weekly about a month ago. And then, from that, I'm going to show you, captains, or share with you, captains, sort of the ships that I would like to see in Star Trek Online, and then hop over to the Star Trek Online official Twitter feeds, drop the 2 ECs here and there, and then give our conclusion. So, here we go. There's going to be an F-bomb here that I'm going to try to censor, captain, so apologies, but again, keyword try.
So, Rogerio de Oliveira Arruda wants you to make your inspired version of Ark Royal for STO, Thomas.
Oh my
I don't know
god.
what that is. Is that a homeworld ship?
No, it's a Starfleet Command 2 ship. And yeah, I also want to make that ship. I don't know how or where we would do it.
I mean, there's got to be a way, because like so many of the requests we get are for ships that were original to old video games, and like I know the rights are all tangled up, but there's got to be a way.
No, actually, I will say this because I actually looked into this for something that's coming up soon. I asked Paramount, you know, if there is a ship from an old game, can we use the design as long as we rebuild the asset ourselves? And they said yes.
Ooh.
So that unlocks certain doors.
That is gonna. That was the sound of 1,000 forum threads launching right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, captains, you heard the discussion. You heard what Thomas said. As long as they actually build it themselves, or he builds it, he can have it in Star Trek Online. Now, since then, obviously, a lot of us captains lost our ever-loving mind. Now, from that, this is actually a video I wanted to do a while ago using kind of the same thumbnail, but when I made it, I actually made it with the Obina, which was from Star Trek Lower Decks. Now that this has actually happened, we thought it'd be high time to jump in here and throw down our 2 ECs. Now, we're going to go and sort of share the ships that I would like to see in Star Trek Online before we head to the official Twitter feeds. Now, this ship was in Star Trek Starfleet Command. In the series there, it's a TMP ship, so it's all about TMP love, and we all know Thomas loves it, so I would definitely love to see this ship in-game, and this brings me back a lot of the ships that are from older previous games. I'd love to see, and because they would be bringing me back to my childhood when I was growing up and playing these specific games. So this definitely I like how this also sort of looks like the Kelvin, the USS Kelvin from the Kelvin timeline. Except these are 2 nacelles, not like the Kelvin where you had an actual secondary hull and 1 nacelle. Now, this is the ship that Thomas was asked about and was talking about, and I do agree with him. We were able to censor that F-bomb out there. But as you can tell, captains, he said, oh my god, he does actually love this ship. So I would like to see the ship stowified, and I believe it would fit. I don't think they has to really try too hard in terms of trying to make it sort of work for Star Trek Online, because I think we all know what happens when Thomas is very passionate about a ship. It will happen. So there's one shot of it there, and there's another shot. Now, again, captains, could you imagine this stowified? When I got this ship in game on the Star Trek Starfleet Command 2, it seemed like it was the most powerful ship, but then actually it was actually weaker than one of the dreadnoughts, I believe. But this was actually made as a carrier, I believe, in that game. But correct me if I'm wrong, captains, comment below. But yes, I would definitely love to see this in-game in Star Trek Online as well. So there is that ship. Now, I understand this is also where I throw down my 2 ECs, or one of the ECs. I understand that there are some of the ships that I will be showing here are fan-made designs. And actually, to that effect, Thomas actually responded to that and said that they cannot make, actually responded to me directly on Twitter, that they cannot make any sort of fan-made, even if it is an officially licensed game, because mods are actually just fan mods. Having said that, this is the Ares from Axanar, which is a fan film, and I love this look because it started to use those kind of deflectors from the TMP era, which I absolutely love. Now, another design though that we could possibly get in Star Trek Online is the Resolute from Star Trek Resurgence, which is the game coming up. Captain's one of the things that we've been covering here on the YouTube bridge. So this is close enough for me, even though I'd love to see this, a TOS version of this, or this exact, well, not exact, but an inspired design in Star Trek Online. We can at least have this. I would be totally happy with this. Next thing up here is the Century Class. Now, I saw this in Star Trek Bridge Commander Kobayashi Maru mod. Having said that, I believe this wasn't actually in the Armada series. Those Armada series games I actually did not play because I didn't like the gameplay. That's just not my cup of tea. But if this was actually in the game and not fan-made and brought into the game, I would definitely love to see this, because this is like, it feels like an upgraded Sovereign. And in Bridge Commander, this ship was massive and it just looks really the part. It has a very squat profile. I had another shot here of the deflector. It just looks really good, and it looks like it would fit in Star Trek Online just like a glove. Now this shot here, again, I am not sure if this is, again, from the Armada series, but it looks like it is an in-game shot of some sort. Now, in the game here, they made it the actual Enterprise F, which we know that's not the F, and we know now that the Odyssey has been canonized as the Enterprise F, which of course we can still say, yes, let's go! Because that is just awesome. But again, would love to see this as just a different ship on its own in Star Trek Online. Now this is actually, I believe, the sort of picture I showed on Twitter that Thomas responded that we cannot have. Now, I understand that, but maybe we can have an inspired design. I really did like this. I'm not one for winged designs, and especially Federation, because with the Federation ships, I think I like them a lot because of their sort of unique designs, a saucer, nacelles, secondary hull. But this felt like an upgrade to the Defiant, which I absolutely love, like next gen. And it also had like pulse cannons and everything. I have another shot of it here. The Courageous class, I believe, or the USS Courageous, but regardless, I absolutely loved it. And it had such an aggressive looking feel to it, and when I was using it, it was absolutely fun. I believe I also had this in Star Trek Starfleet Command 3, the Kobayashi Maru mod, and it was just a fun ship to just fly all around, just for looks wise, because it just felt like it has a roll bar type thing going on there. So totally do love that callback there on this design. Regardless if it's a fan design, maybe a design that is inspired from this to get it close enough. Now I say that because the next ship up here is, I believe, from DJ, or it's a fan design, another fan design, but how this is categorized as DJ Valiant. Now, when I say inspired design, you can get almost this look just using the adamant skin in game. And this is why I have this pick here, because I tried to recreate it and all I used was all the adamants, a hull and deflector, and I just used one of the other options, the older options for the Defiance there that you can use in the Taylor. Now, having said that, again, I want this ship because it's more flushed out and finished. Now, here are the fighters that we'll be getting in game, I believe, that they showed off there. That was going to come from the Hiawatha, and I believe also that's going to be probably one of the fighters I will be using. Now, this is from Invasion, but they showed us, and this was the ship that, or fighter that Thomas was talking about on that stream that is coming soon, which of course we all know that was announced previously and we covered here on the YouTube bridge as well. Here's another shot of it. I like this because, again, the nacelles kind of are past the saucer there, or at least coming up halfway the ship, whereas this is only coming up to about a quarter. So again, this just feels more fleshed out, a lot more sleek. And there's another shot of the deflector there. Love it. The Adamus deflector does look like that, so it can work, in my opinion. Again, the purpose is having another Defiant, sure, why not? But I think this would just look really good. Again, have an inspired sort of version of it, and so I'd like to see that. Doesn't necessarily have to be close to this, but this feels to me like the next generation, whereas the Courageous would be like the next generation of this type of vessel. There's that. Now, the USS Emmett Till. This I saw from the documentary series for DS9. I believe it's called What Was Left Behind. This was supposed to make an appearance in the next season if there was going to be a next one. So it's a 4-nacelle design ship that looks like it's using kind of Sovereign-esque type. I love the deflector look on this. It has another split neck design, a saucer with a cutout there. It looks like it's a hangar bay, so I believe this would really work in Star Trek Online. And it's I'm not sure if it was officially licensed already or if it was about to, but regardless, another inspired one design, sure. I'd love to see this also in game. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, captains. A long time ago, well, maybe not a long time ago, but in Star Trek Online, there was a contest that, of course, was to design the next Enterprise F. I believe this was one of the candidates, because this is a ship I've seen here off and on throughout the years, and from what I've read, whenever I see this, I hear that this was the runner-up to what became, or was now, the Odyssey class, which is now canonized. Now, I know this looks like also the Titan A, which is in Star Trek Picard Season 3, and it's essentially like a more modernized Constitution. This is a great looking design. I'd love to see this, and hopefully this is something that they could make work in Star Trek Online, because it does look beautiful, and it was submitted, so why wouldn't it be okay? Again, I understand it has to be officially licensed, but why not, since this was submitted? Now, the Excalibur apparently was in the Armada series, but this was also in one I believe Starfleet Command 3 Kobayashi Maru mod, but because it came from the Armada series. Again, I'm not sure if this was an actual fan-inspired, but if it was actually in the Armada series game, I would love to see this in Star Trek Online. Like a beefy, it is a huge ship, a massive ship. I'd love to be able to command this and fly this in Star Trek Online. And again, it's called the Excalibur class, I believe, or USS Excalibur. Just a very aggressive looking capital ship there. Probably like the next Federation Dreadnought. Now, this ship particularly is from Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is sort of like a virtual reality game that you can play even without virtual reality. This is the ship that they use, and I believe it's like the Aegis or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, captains, but comment below if you know the name of the ship. I just see this in Google when I look at starships on Google. And it's a Kelvin design. I love this design because it actually splits the nacelle. As you know, captains, I do love the Kelvin Constitution, the USS Enterprise from the Kelvin timeline, but the only sort of nitpick I have about it was the nacelles are too close. This, having nacelles beside the secondary hull, extends it out, splits the nacelles apart, and it just gives it a more squat and combative look. So I would love to see this and see more actual Kelvin ships in game, which brings me to this shot here. There were some ships there that was not actually yet in game, and these three ships were in, I believe these three ships were in that sequence where the Enterprise was warping out. I'd love to see especially this one here, the twin hull, sort of secondary hull there, along with a roll bar. So this definitely would be a first day purchase. These two, not so much, but hey, they were shown on screen. We already have the Kelvin, we already have the Enterprise, we have the Vengeance, the D4X from that timeline, the Jellyfish. So why not add some more Kelvin timeline ships to Star Trek Online? Now, this was from Star Trek Picard Season 2, I believe. This is the USS Leon deGrance. Now, this was actually shown here actually being captained by Captain Nyota Uhura, and it's called the Lancelot Class Starship. So it's like a walker, but just with modernized, looks like a sovereign saucer, and then just sovereign nacelles. I'm for it. I'd love to see it in game. It's another underslung design that I don't mind. I absolutely love this design. Maybe put another roll bar above it. I'd be happy with that. So this is something that we could see, hopefully, especially if we see it on screen, which I would love to see. Now, this ship, I believe, is the Yamato. This is from Star Trek Legacy. Now, one of the other favorite games I played there when I was growing up. This, when I first saw this, another twin hull battleship type ship, I was just losing my mind, because you have the twin hull battleship, the twin hull secondary hulls, a roll bar, and also like a cutout here that has photon torpedo launchers. Tell me that doesn't look good, and that would not fit here in Star Trek Online. Now, this is a TMP version. Give me a modern version, give me a TMP version, I don't care. I believe that this would work very well, and I would, again, a lot of captains have been requesting this, but you will see that when we go to the official Twitter feed. Again, I think this is an actual sort of fan design. But captains, look at this. This is like an upgraded Akira, like next generation, with the underslung nacelle. It doesn't have like that torpedo pod, but it just looks really cool. Now, again, fan design, if it is, why not have a sort of inspired sort of ship? There's nothing wrong with taking inspiration, kind of what they do, but I do absolutely love the look of this. Again, I understand, can't use the fan designs, but if you're going to build one, having a sort of an inspired design, see if that can get approved from Paramount and or the powers to be. Now, all these ships we saw on Star Trek Lower Decks. Now, we already have the Cerritos, we already have the Parliament, we already have the Titan. God, I can remember still losing my mind when this became canon. But the two ships from this picture is still something that we could get. Now, the Obina Class, this was the original ship that I had in the thumbnail that you see that I used in this video. But there's that. It's an Excelsior looking-esque class, because apparently it's much bigger in terms of size. Probably would be something that's going to come in game, but you also had here the Ostler, which I believe was sort of the ship that was in Lower Decks, was used to house like experimental sort of accidents that housed the Starfleet officers here, and this is kind of where they went, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there are the two ships here, and in this picture, we're at 3 out of 5 right now, so who knows, it could be 5 out of 5 in the near future, caps. Now, again, ships that I'd like to see. This is the USS Eureka, the Excelsior 2 class starship. We already have the Sagan class, so I don't think there would be a reason, so definitely would love to see this. Love the upgraded. I've already talked about this before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but not a 100% a fan of the original Excelsior, but this takes it to another level, and this profile here reminds me of another ship that we'll be showing here in a bit. Now, this here, from this picture, we already have, of course, the La Serena, the Zhang-He, the Romulan Bird of Prey, but we don't have these other ships here. So, not too bothered about these two here, but these two, 7 of 9 ship, and this Romulan Bombership. I believe this ship would be more popular because 7 of 9s, because it's 7 of 9s, and a lot of people, I believe, would love to captain that just because it looks like a nice, very nimble escort ship. Same here with a Ramen Bomber. Need more Ramen ships. That design looks really cool. Mind you, just like a bomber ship with folded wingtips. But that's something that I'm pretty sure a lot of Ramen captains, because the Ramen Bird of Prey here, love this design. I got it first day. It was in a legendary bundle, and it's on its own. But this would also, I believe, complement and actually add on to the roster for Romulan ships in Star Trek Online. Now, here's that ship I was talking about. I believe there's a Polaris, I believe. Captains, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know where the ship is from, to be honest with you. I thought I read somewhere in the Armada series that this would be great to have here. Now, having said that, looking at the side profile here, if we go back to the Eureka, it's pretty close to it, but this has a more sovereign-esque look, And I think this would, again, something that would fit in the universe of Star Trek Online. Again, if it's a fan design, let's see if we can get an inspired. Because why not have another cruiser? Because we like cruisers on the Fed side. I'm a Feddy boy, I've said that before. Now this, the Protostar from Prodigy, Star Trek Prodigy. Now, I have not watched the series, but I know a couple captains here and there that would love to have this. This has grown on me a little bit in terms of design-wise, and this is a really small ship. As you can see just from the bridge module there, how big the ship is. Not necessarily big. Now, I believe there is some issues it coming from Nickelodeon that is preventing the ship or slowing down the ship coming to Star Trek Online, but it is still something that I would love to see come in game, because it is part of the Star Trek that is now here with us in terms of what's playing now. So why not try to get it in game? Pretty sure this would sell really well, in my opinion. Of course, we have the Titan A. We know captains. Just recently in our Star Trek Fleet Week here, we had Bill Krause, aka Admiral Buck, who made the design, the original design of the ship where it came from, which is the Shangri-La. There are some changes to the ship. We've already spoken this. We already know that this is going to be in Star Trek Picard, but we should probably get this within the next year, definitely, especially after the series premieres. And essentially this had TMP nacelles, but they just changed it to the Stargazer nacelles, or the Sagan class nacelles. And again, something that would love to have and probably will definitely get day one, as we do have a box set aside for that. Now, this ship is from Star Trek Starfleet Command again. The series this was like the Dreadnought. Like, how could we not want this ship in game? Like, look how pretty that is. Now, I didn't realize it had a split neck design, and I never necessarily did like that, but then I guess I forgot about this ship, and really this works for me. So I would love to see this. The roll bar again has a TMP look. Give me a version of this that's sort of, you know, current time. I think they could do really well. Just give it a nice looking deflector, still the roll bar action, but give us this option and build this. Come on, Thomas, sir, this is a TMP, and we know you love TMP. Speaking of that, of course, there is the Obina that we talked about earlier. Again, it is like, again, a TMP classic design, but all they did was put the Sovereign nacelles on it and made it bigger. And another TMP design from Star Trek Starfleet Command series is the Yamato. Now, this is like another twin hull battleship with 4 nacelles there, another roll bar. I remember getting this ship and just decimating all the NPCs, all the enemies there. It was hilarious. It was fun flying the ship when I had access to this, because you got this in later levels. Now, those are the ships that I like to see. Again, some of them are incoming, like the USS Titan. Some of them are suggestions from older games, like this ship. Some of them are fan designs. Hopefully we can get a sort of inspired ship. Doesn't have, obviously it's not going to be the same, but an inspired ship, because I think I like those designs personally. And again, this is just my 2 ECs, my recommendations. Now we're going to go back to the official Twitter feed here, because this is kind of where it also started. So that stream was September 6th. This came out October 16th. So yesterday, as of this video, because right now we're recording this on the 17th, so this may come out today or tomorrow morning. But this was a response to Stu1701's video that he made of the top 10 ships he would like to see in Star Trek Online. So shout out to you, sir. Go captains, check that out. I will leave this link of this Twitter feed in the description below. Click on this and then click on his video to check out his wants in game from past games. Again, mine though was from past games, but also things that I'd like to see and or anticipating to see come in game. Now, it's interesting to go over this thread. Now, I'm actually going to go here and show Thomas's response to me, because it says here, we can't do any fan-created designs from mods. So that I know, only designs from officially licensed Paramount products. So it was worth a shot. We had to try. So we go back here. You see some of the recurring themes here. So they said also items. So this actually comes up too, which is a game Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. So I'm guessing all the ground items, the ground games, first-person shooter, a game that I did not play. This is a fan-made design, I believe, but I wouldn't mind seeing this. This is like another sort of Miranda-style ship. Sure, we could use more Space Barbie on that Miranda frame. I believe this ship was just sort of the incursion from Star Trek Away Team, which is kind of a ship that is a hollow ship of some sort. You can see in this picture here the same ship that we recommended in the Bridge Crew game, but there's also a Romulan, I believe another Romulan design. I don't know what that is, but sure. Maybe the weapons that they're wanting. And of course here, here I found a little more detail. It's called Excalibur Class and correction. It's from Star Trek Armada 3. So if this is indeed from Armada 3 as an officially in the game and not a mod, this could make it in here, and I just love the look of this. This just looks really good and cool. So shout out to you, Michael L. Brown, for dropping your 2 ECs. Now, the Typhoon class carrier, I would not want to see that. This is also from Invasion, but this is where those fighters came from, I believe, too, as well, the same game. Which are these right here, which I'm glad we're going to have them, and I think it's about time to upgrade those Peregrines. Another shot of the Excalibur and the captains wanting this ship in game. Not sure what this ship is, but it looks like another TMP type, and of course like a Miranda with a roll bar with 3 nacelles, it seems. So sure, why not? There's the Royal Ark captains. This is actually the image that we used to put in the thumbnail. And I do, again, I 100% agree. This is a beautiful design. I'd love to see that. Another Excalibur class there, and another captain asking for the Yamato. Some of these ships, I can't remember what race this was, but I think they start with an L. But that was from Star Trek Starfleet Command 2, I believe, or Orion Pirates, if I'm not mistaken. There's that 2 nacelle ship again from the TMP, Star Trek Starfleet Command. And this was the frigate ship, and I believe this was one of Stu 1701 picked 2 as well to come into game. But this was your starter ship when you first started playing the mission games. Now, this is this ship was actually a Star Trek Online original ship, which is like either Typhon or Typhoon ship, and I don't know why we didn't get this. Maybe upgrade this bad boy and just put it in there. But these got replaced by the Command ships, the other 4 nacelle game that we have, the Command ships. So there's that ship again there from Armada 2, apparently. Another Romulan design ship. Never saw where this was from, but an Aegean class? Sure. Kind of reminds me of the Hiawatha almost. There's another shot of Invasion. Fighters we're getting. Now this ship too, in Legacy, I forgot about this ship, but apparently it's a Poseidon Class. It was from Star Trek Legacy, and it had underslung nacelles and that kind of roll bar-ish configuration there. Ships of the line, I don't know, would you not count that as officially licensed Paramount product? Because there's some ships there that are not, I believe, fan design. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but again, I'm just trying to reach here, captains. Trying to get more pretty ships in game. Just saying. Here's another shot of those 2 ships that we talked about here. And the Yamato, apparently, there's that one here. The Akula class, that's what it's called, the Akula class. Achilles class, I'm not sure if this is fan-made, but I know I've flown this in Star Trek Starfleet Command 3 Kobayashi Maru mod. I'm not sure if there's an official ship here. I think I've seen this in Star Trek Armada 2. Again, comment below, captains. A Cardassian battleship, not sure where that is. Oh wait, no, that's all right. I was looking the other way. So if that's a thing, why not put it in there? See, there you go. Not from a game, but a calendar. So if this is from the Star Trek sort of official calendar there, ships of the line design, would this be something that we could have in game? Can we has, please? Can we has, maybe? Another shot of the Ark Royal. Look at that aft. Ta-da! Yes! Definitely a carrier type ship. Definitely 100%. Another Excalibur. Here is that ship here. And again, it is a fan design, but apparently there was a mod here from the Polaris Titan from Armada 3. Another shot of it here. I mean, if we're only going to get the Excelsior 2.0, we're obviously going to get it and take it, but this does have a different aesthetic to it. I don't mind it. Love the side profile of it and the front profile. But again, if not official, why not inspired by? Another one asking for Achilles. Some items probably from Elite Force, ground item-wise. Typhon. Here you have these ships as well here. These weird looking, looks like a Cardassian ship there. But you can see, captains, all of these sort of wants here. Oh, this is still not here. The Springfield Class, apparently. I didn't know that this was the design of it. Kind of funky. But a lot of captains still want to see some ships that we've already seen or know of in-game. And here's another shot of that Typhoon Class here. Yeah, if they just update this with a better skin. I love the nacelles here. The Prometheus, I believe one of the skins there have this type of nacelles. I do like it. It looks very aggressive. And wouldn't mind seeing this actually officially in game, which we already did, but they replaced it with the command ships. Be nice to have that ship back. There again is the ship that we saw there. Another Achilles. This, I guess this is kind of the Hiawatha. Now this is the Premonition class from Star Trek Armada 2. I saw this. And again, I wasn't too familiar with the Armada series. I just didn't like that type of gameplay. But yeah, I would love to have that. And since we do a lot of sort of we need more 3 nacelle design ships. This would be a great candidate, I believe. I remember this ship definitely, but this was a fan design, definitely. That's weird, but sure. If there's someone that will love it, why not? There's that aging class. Apparently it's from Armada 2. Oh, this ship was from Legacy. So yeah, there's another type ship. There was a sort of battleship, I believe. And I can't remember if we flew it or not. But there's that. It's another Excalibur. There's that Dreadnought ship there. The Ulysses, or the Dreadnought from the Star Trek Starfleet Command, original one. Another ammunition there. There's that Yamato, Kula. There's that ship again there from Legacy, just an underslung with a roll bar. Yes. NX, sure, why not? Would love to have that. So as you can see, captains, there's just reoccurring themes here of ships. Ew. No, let's just say no to that one. It's only an engineer would love. The engineer who designed that. But yeah, they're just sort of reoccurring themes here in terms of the ships that we would like to see in game. I share some of the connections obviously with these captains who played these games a long time ago with me, and I thought that this was, here's another ship here. It's not in game, but from the Ships of the Line calendar, which is I believe an official product, a Phalanx class. Phalanx, or however you say that, my apologies. So again, thought it would be just fun to kind of share also R2ECs here. I would love to see more of these ships definitely come in game, and hopefully they can find a purpose for them, as it always seems that there has to be a purpose for them bringing something into game. But what's a better purpose than having the community, fellow captains, wanting them in game so that they can purchase it, buy it by supporting the game, and then doing their pretty pew-pews here. So captains, there you go. We thought we would just share our thoughts on this. This was something that we wanted to make for a while now, and we took this opportunity since this tweet came out, along with what was said here in the original sort of discussion that was made on stream with Thomas, so that we heard it directly from his mouth there that he would love at least to put the Ark Royal in. But we already got the fighters, so that, again, the doors have been opened, and they ask. No promises, of course, but at least they're trying to see what the reaction is. And I think it has been a pretty positive reaction, because there's already, I believe, like 300 plus replies here in this thread alone. So Again, captains, like the video, comment below, let us know what ship you want to see in Star Trek Online, whether it be from an older game or a sort of fan-inspired design that they can sort of pull from. And also subscribe here to the User Bridge. Captains, we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.